UCLA was going into halftime down 11 points to Michigan State. The game was really ugly and nothing seemed to be going right. But did it matter much anyways? UCLA was 4th in the Pac-12, Michigan State was 9th in the Big Ten, so this play-in game for March Madness was really just to see who would lose in the first round or, if insanely lucky, the second round. I was just blown away when I watched UCLA just take over the second half and completely shut down Michigan State. Flash forward a couple of weeks and UCLA is ready to face off Gonzaga in the Final Four. We're going to take a deeper dive into how in the world a play-in team that was very close to losing that game has taken out 6-seed BYU, 14-seed Abilene Christian, 2-seed Alabama, and my number 1 seeded Michigan Wolverines. Still so salty about that, and I wanted to make a video on that game, but I felt like I had to make a video about UCLA's run first. And first, the number one thing I can say for UCLA and their run so far is their feel for the game is incredible. Most teams have a game plan or idea how their team is going to run and operate, and if you heard me say this before, you'll hear me say it again. The most important trait to a basketball player or team is adaptability, and in this tournament, UCLA has adapted better than every team they've played so far. For example, the first game against Michigan State, Johnny Juzang and Jaime Jaquez combined for 50 points, and they relied on them heavy towards the end and fed the hot hands and finished the improbable comeback. And you do not want to play a team in March that is coming off a big win with a ton of confidence and is on fire from deep. And that's exactly who BYU ran into in the first round, which is too bad because I was very high on BYU. I love how they competed against Gonzaga in their game in the regular season, but I did not expect Johnny Juzang to become the king of March. And trust me, we're going to talk about him more individually in depth later, but sticking to the theme of adaptability, Juzang had it going early and scored 10 of the first 18 points. And in this game, nobody outside of Juzang, Jaquez, and Jules Bernard, nobody could get anything going. So they stopped trying to feed the cold people as much as they could and just run the offense through these three players. And you could just tell by body language, nobody on the team cared. They were pumped to see their teammates get buckets and were thrilled to run plays and do anything they can to get these three guys open. And as a coach, you love to see this. They ended up winning this game by 11, but it never even really felt close. They kept an 8 to 13 point lead throughout the whole game. And don't be mad at me, we're not going to spend any time on the Abilene Christian game because they dominated. They were simply outmatched them. It was a 20-point blowout. They got pretty lucky avoiding Texas, but hey, who said luck can't play a role in this as well? Which leads us to their game against 2-seeded Alabama. Alabama has not only shown to be a powerhouse in football year in and year out, but as of lately, they're showing a lot of improvement in their basketball program. And like all good programs, they do their homework. They saw Juzang and Jaquez being the stars, and you could tell early on they had all their focus on them. They had their best defenders on them, making sure to hedge, go over screens, deny the ball, making anything to make them feel uncomfortable. Being in the Sweet 16 is a big deal. Millions of people watching, and Juzang and Jaquez, you have all the national attention. It's just time to shine, right? Well, like I said before, they were quicker to adapt than any other team they played. In the previous two games, these 2 to 3 players scored 90% of their points. But look at the point distribution in this game. That's 6 people in double digits, and Alabama was on their heels trying to figure out that we're playing against a double-edged sword right now. We're getting cooked by everyone. Do we stick to our game plan and shut down the stars? Or do we play everyone the same and let Juzang and Jaquez take over? And look how happy Juzang is just seeing his teammate score a basket to go up 4-1. This is a real team right here. And unlike UCLA, Alabama was just too slow to adapt, and at this point, UCLA had forced overtime and just ran away with the game and won by 10. Was UCLA the better team? No, they weren't, but they did everything they needed to beat a better team. They were unselfish, they made key stops, they hit their free throws. They were 20 from 25 from the line, and Alabama was an embarrassing 14 of 25 from the line. They played winning basketball, and you look up and they're in the Elite 8 now. And as a Michigan fan, I was very confident going into this game. And it wasn't until after I rewatched all the UCLA games after, I realized how dangerous and complex they really were. From start to finish, this game was just weird. And remember what I said about getting lucky sometimes? Well, Michigan played some of their worst basketball I had seen all season. They had one player score in double digits with 11. They scored 26 points less than their regular season average against the Big Ten, who crapped the bed in the tournament, but was a crazy solid conference this year. They shot 23% worse from the free throw line than normal, 11% worse than 3, had more turnovers, less assists than normal. It was just ugly. And to be fair, UCLA didn't play much better, and nobody on UCLA's team could get it going. They had 4 players who nearly played the entire game and had 12 combined points. Everyone played terrible. Well, except Johnny Juzang. He was on fire, and Michigan just couldn't do anything to stop him. He exploded for 28 points and is the sole reason they were even in the game. He put the team on his back and said, come on, if Michigan's going to play this bad, I can do it myself and we have a shot. And a couple of turnovers and an airballed shot later with a pathetic putback try, the confetti rains and UCLA is in the Final Four to take on one-seeded Gonzaga. Before I go into their matchup with Gonzaga, I want to talk about Johnny Juzang, who has taken over the spotlight for this team, and I can imagine only raising his draft stock for this tournament. The sophomore played his first season at Kentucky and was never given that many minutes or trusted with the offense to do his own thing. So he entered the transfer portal, went to UCLA, where he was able to start playing without sitting, and he had a monster season for his team. Being the focal point of their offense, and the 6'6" guard already has all the size he needs for the NBA. And he was going ballistic this tournament. And when evaluating players, the number one question I like to ask myself is this sustainable? Did they just figure something out? And it boils down to, can they keep it up? When TJ Warren was dropping 50 bombs, you just look at the games, the shots he was making, you can't tell me, oh yeah, he can keep that up. You just have to clap your hands and say, yeah, he's on fire right now. But when I see Johnny, I can say, yeah, he can keep this up. His shot is pure, he has great tempo, and he uses his handles and moves to get himself open or to the basket, not really relying on heavily contested, crazy three-pointers, even though he can and will make those, he's that talented. So moving on to their matchup against Gonzaga, I want to be straightforward. I really don't see them winning. That's why I was wanting to make this video now, because I feel pretty confident that I could cover their insane run in this tournament. Gonzaga is just on another planet than any other team right now, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But I don't want to take away that what they've done so far. It has been incredible, and I've emphasized this whole video, this is a winning team, and they have had so much success. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video if you like it. Make sure to comment down below what you think of UCLA. Do you really think they could pull up the upset against Gonzaga? I don't think so personally, but you know, I didn't think they'd beat Michigan either, so we'll see. Make sure to subscribe if you want daily basketball content, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace!